You feel like you're ready to go for week one?
Yeah, I'm ready to go. I mean, we're going to see how these next couple days play out because you never know with these things, but I'm expecting to play. Like I said, we'll see how these next couple days go. I would say this year it was different. I was able to, maintain lifting through the whole process, so I'm in great shape, as good a shape as I've been in heading into week one. Much different than last year when, I was just trying to get back to full strength and full health. I feel much better going into week one this year.
2 years ago, he was coming off of an ACL reconstruction. Last year, he had an appendectomy out of nowhere before the season began. This year, the calf injury that happened in late July that knocked him out for several weeks. Joe Burrow says he is ready to go as he enters the fourth season of his career. They visit the Browns on Sunday, a team that has bedeviled Burrow. He's 1-4 against the Browns in his career, which is just bizarre when you consider how he's kryptonite for Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
The Browns are kryptonite for the guy who's got the Mahomes kryptonite. It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't make any sense, but that's why the NFL is great. It's a league of matchups, and sometimes even though you're better than a team in totality, it doesn't mean you match up that well with them, right? But I mean, Burrow, interesting to hear what he says. I think he's at a different physical state than he was last year, like he was talking about. The fact that he got to work out, he didn't have the appendectomy where he couldn't do anything. You couldn't lift, you couldn't do anything to kind of, build your body. At least he's got that. I was told by somebody that he got out in the practice field and it was just, boom, 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 right down the field, and it looked like he hadn't missed a beat. So I certainly would expect him to be starting. Playing at his highest level, I don't know about that this weekend, but still, I think we're going to see damn good Joe Burrow pretty early on in the season, and of course, watch out for him and the Bengals.
When he suffered that calf injury, my first reaction was he should not set foot on a field for practice or game until he gets his second contract. Here he is from yesterday talking about his lingering contract situation.
Yeah, that's the last thing I'm thinking about. I'm worried about beating the Browns right now. That's going to come. I'm going to keep playing well. I feel great about the organization and everybody in the locker room and the coaching staff. And so, that's icing on the cake to me. I'm just excited to be out here. Yeah, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be my whole career. We're working towards making that happen. You've seen what the front office has done and what Zach has done in their time here. And, I'm a small part of that. And, I'm excited to be a part of that. And we have great people in the locker room that grind every day that, are excited to go and showcase their talents and excited to do it in the city of Cincinnati. We have the best fans. And so this is where I want to be.
Right. I didn't hear everything that he said there.
Yeah.
I hope that everybody else did, but I heard enough.
Yeah.
I want to be here for the rest of my career, and we're working to make that happen.
Yeah.
That tells me they're talking about a Mahomes-style, ultra-long-term deal, and that leads me back toward one of my favorite topics.
Oh, here we go.
But this is the easiest way to avoid issues and problems. Give him a percentage of the salary cap. You've got certainty as to how many cents per dollar you're going to have available to put a team around him. It's easy, it's simple, it's overdue, and I think Mike Brown is the one contrarian owner who would be willing to say to the rest of them, I don't care that you don't want to do it. We're allowed to do it. I'm going to do it. I got this guy that I want to keep in Cincinnati. I don't want to have to go back and renegotiate his contract every 2 or 3 years. I want certainty for him, certainty for us, and I want to know that he's going to be our guy well into the future. And from a business standpoint, I don't see the problem with a team saying, okay, we got X dollars under the cap, and we're going to commit 14.78364%, whatever they negotiate, whatever that fine point is. That much of it is going to go to the quarterback every year, and we got the rest of it for the team. There's an appeal to that. That's why I keep talking about it. It makes sense. You can get a guy under contract forever, and he's always protected against the market changing. And I think teams resist it, Chris, because the way it currently works, they get to screw the player for a little bit until they redo the deal. You get a year or two of, man, that guy's really underpaid. Well, nothing I can do about it. I just signed my contract. The market's really changed. The salary cap's really changed. And you benefit from, just like early in the guy's career, when he's laboring under the slotted rookie contract, you have guy in maturing veteran contract where he gets screwed for a couple of years before they redo the deal. I don't think teams want to give that up.
No, I think there's probably a lot of things at play. First off, I think you're correct in just, it does seem like we got something coming down the pipe more than a 4 or 5 year deal here for Joe Burrow, that we might see an 8 or 10 year deal that really does lock him up for a significant part of his career. And I don't think they're crazy there either. Damn, he's the crown jewel of Cincinnati. We know that. He's the man. We've laughed about it. They were kind of like, ugh, they're ugly and not cool in their uniforms.
That was you.
I know. Well, you laughed at what
you're talking about.
Yeah.
I just want to make sure. I mean,
yeah.
we could really make. We could go viral today. Are you saying the people in Cincinnati are ugly? Is that what you're saying?
No, I was talking about
I didn't think that's what you're saying, but it kind of came off that
uniform.
way.
Sorry, I didn't mean it to be like that.
The uniforms are ugly.
The Cincinnati Bengals purely to the football team, right? I got family that lives in Cincinnati. They're not ugly and they're cool, so I would never say that.
They said you're ugly.
They might, or a pain in the ass, one of the two. But this is going to get done. I don't think he's really all that worried about it. He's certainly, the prized possession, like I was saying. And then to your point, yeah, I just feel like, I don't know. I mean, Mike Brown, one, has traditionally been cheap. So I don't know if I necessarily think all of a sudden he's going to break the mold of uncheapness and show the rest of the league how to be frivolous with money. I guess that's the first thing I would say. The second thing is, your point is real. You're right. They get a little wiggle room of screwing the playovers the way the current system is set up. You get a year or two going, we're paying him like $10 million less than market value, right? There is that. The other thing that I come back to where I think it's a little tough in the scenario you're talking about is if it's going to be allotted 15% of the salary cap, right? I feel like that's hard for teams to wiggle with a little bit, right? Just like we see with big contracts now. There's 1 year it counts a bunch of money. The next year it doesn't count to that same percent because they got other guys that are getting paid or whatever else, right? Am I making sense there? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
You make it a percentage. You make it a percentage of the total overall salary cap each year.
Well, what I'm saying is that makes it very hard on football teams to balance the checkbook is what I'm trying to say.
The other thing you can do is tie it to something like the franchise tag calculation, how it used to be. Burrow is guaranteed to always be making as much as the average of the highest paid.
Okay, that I could see maybe happening more.
That's
I can see that better.
I don't think he's going to agree to an ultra long-term deal without that protection. And meanwhile, with each passing day now, the Bengals have him at under $5 million for this year, and that's never going to be fixed. That's what we always said about Lamar Jackson. Yes, he eventually got a great contract, but he had to wait 2 years for it.
Yeah.
That money's never coming back.
Yeah, I know.
There's money that will never come back if you don't do it now. And the danger for the Bengals, Joe Burrow is being very reasonable. He wants to be there. If they screw around, though, there's a point, just like I feel the same way about Justin Jefferson. There's a point where, okay, I was patient, I was nice, I wanted to be here, and you took advantage of my good nature. Now I'm just going to play out my time. I'm going to let you tag me twice, and then I'm going to go be a free agent. I'm not saying that we're there yet, but that's the risk if the Bengals try to take advantage of Joe Burrow being a nice guy in this situation. He's being nicer than I think he should be, but I think he's saying, we'll see if they do things right. Yeah. Maybe they won't. We'll see. Maybe they'll be smart.
They're going to do their best to take care of him to their utmost ability.
Cheap and smart is better than cheap and stupid. It's also better than, spend all your money and stupid. Mike Brown, I think, is smart enough to know he better not play around with Joe Burrow, and at some point, you got to call the ball and do the deal. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.